walked back to her desk and picked up a pencil and a piece of paper. I'm always pleased to welcome new learners. Being able to read and write proficiently can impact your future in many positive ways, but I'm sure you know that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have come. They stared as if she were a talking horse. Please, have a seat. She gestured, smiling falsely. We don't have enough books, but we're accustomed to sharing here. The men glanced around at the angrily set faces of the men and women in the room and stammered, we need to go. And they left in haste. In the silence that followed, Val dropped into her chair and let the fear and tension drain away. When she looked up, her students were smiling, and she smiled too. 42-year-old Eb Slayton called out, "Miss, you had them so confused they didn't know General Sherman from their mamas." And everyone burst into laughter. Val laughed too, but inside knew they'd been lucky the two had been so easily baffled. She hoped that luck continued. 2 hours later, Val dismissed her class. Many of the students drifted away to return to jobs and families, but others, like 17-year-old Dina Watson, lingered. "What's it like living up north, ma'am?" Val placed the 5 McGuffey readers into the small strongbox for safekeeping and glanced to the young woman. "The weather's certainly cooler," she replied. For a northern-born woman, being in the New Orleans heat was akin to walking into a foundry furnace. She was right now roasting in her attire of proper long-sleeved, high-necked blouse, flowing skirt, and hose. "You'll get used to it," the smiling Dina promised. "Are our people there free?" Val nodded. "In New York, where I'm from, since 1827, almost 50 years. Seeing Dina's surprise, she added, "But it isn't true freedom. We're still unable to vote or own property in many places. Social mixing is frowned upon, so we have our own schools, churches, and businesses. Some communities even have their own newspapers." "Your parents free, too?" "Yes. My grandmother, Rose, ran when she was about 14. "From where?" "Virginia. She first went to Philadelphia, then to New York, and opened a seamstress shop. My father's parents escaped from Charleston when he was an infant. And unlike Rose, her father was embarrassed by his slave birth and spent his life claiming he'd been born free." "You got somebody you sweet on back home?" Val thought about her intended with a deeply felt fondness. "Yes, his name is Coleman Bennett. We've known each other since we were children." "Is he in New Orleans with you?" "No. He and his business partner are in France, seeking financial support for their newspaper. They'd be back in the States soon. She missed him and could have used his support in her battle with her father over her desire to travel to New Orleans to teach. In the end, she was allowed to go until Cole's return. Her time in the city would undoubtedly be shorter than she wanted, but in dealing with her father, she learned to take victory where she could." "The French built New Orleans." Pleased with Dina's knowledge of that fact, she said, "Yes, they did. In addition to the Spanish and an influx of Haitians who'd fled the island after the revolution there." Eb Slayton stuck his head in the door. "You ready to go, ma'am? I don't want to be late for work." He often gave Val a ride back to the quarter after class ended. "Yes. Dina, be careful going home. I'll see you on Thursday." "I will." School was held on Mondays and Thursdays. Val devoted the other days of the week to teaching freedmen children at the convent of the Sisters of the Holy Family, one of the few orders in the nation run by nuns of color. Val picked up her worn brown leather satchel and took one last look around at the neatly swept makeshift classroom. She was proud to have such a space and even prouder of her eager and focused students. Closing the door, she secured it with the padlock and joined Eb on the seat of his rickety